Okay, so this level here is this level right here. And this level is this level. This level is this one. Then we work our way up. This part right here is right here. Then the next part up is, where are we here? This part here is the one we just put on yesterday, right there. That's the Admiral's Bridge. And then it shows a couple more. We got this piece here. There's this piece right here. Then we got a couple more to go up. But the thing is, if I steady each one of these pictures, well, it's no use looking away up here, but I don't see the wheel anywhere. You know, the ship's wheel. You would think it would be in one of these 7 or 8 levels or whatever, but I don't see it. Unless the ship could be, you know, managed from several different locations, and maybe it didn't have a wheel. Maybe it just was sort of signals, you know, 3 degrees left or 4 degrees right, or, you know, that sort of thing. And it could be done from several different places in the ship. But, you know, ships that were designed back in the 30s, I thought they all had wheels. They weren't that sophisticated yet. No joysticks back then. You probably noticed when I got up about 3 or 4 decks, all of a sudden I sounded confused. Well, that's because I was 1 deck out on my, demonstration there. Yeah, in other words, I wasn't doing it quite right. I don't know if we should bother doing this again sometime in the future or not, because I only wanted to prove the point that I couldn't find the wheel. Now, the last time I had a little piece like this is F28, and when I nipped the piece of sprue off the edge of the railing, I ended up with a little V right at the top of the railing, and I want to be careful somehow I don't end up doing that this time. So I'm going to be extra careful here this time. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about it. I will use the Tamiya nippers to take most of it off, but I think I'm probably going to rely on filing. Well, maybe when I actually do it, we'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, C. Well, I can't fight my way into a plastic bag. I remember packaging this up. Oh man, this must be almost 6 months ago now. Okay, there we go. C2. Now this searchlight and these AA guns, we did those weeks ago already. But we need a couple of J21s and D26 and 27. J21. We need 2 of them. But there's only 1. It's a good thing there's 2 J sprues. D26 and D27. Now when I had the J sprue out, I should have grabbed these, J1. We need 2 of them. As near as I can tell, we've got everything. There isn't very many pieces on this step. And there is no Photo-etch, which is kind of too bad. Because yesterday, while episode 172 was uploading, this came in my delivery box. And it was recommended by Tony. And I'm wondering, Tony, if you're listening, it says no thinning necessary on the back here. But would that also mean for airbrushing? And if I should thin it out for the airbrush, what should I use and how much? Yeah, In the meantime, thanks for the suggestion. The idea of this is so that your paint will stick better on the photo etch parts and it won't chip off. And I was noticing that it was scratching off extremely easy. You could literally accidentally scratch it off with your fingernail. So yeah, be interesting to see how this goes. Okay, a couple of things I better clear up. I was editing this out here just now, and I was listening to myself say in yesterday's episode number 172. Then I thought, well, wait a minute, if this is episode 174, yesterday was 173. I meant to say 173 yesterday. Now, also in yesterday's episode, you'll remember me saying something about how I hate to read. Well, that's pretty obvious and apparent right now, because if I had have just read a few lines further down, it would have clearly indicated no thinning out needed, and they were talking about for the airbrush. So anyway, we'll give it a try and see how it goes, not thinned out. Unless, Tony, you know of something I don't know and they don't know, maybe thinning it out is a good idea. Well, I'm sure you'll let me know. Okay, I've already done all the other pieces, but I've left this one till last. And this is the one that I was concerned about accidentally cutting the edge of the railing here. I guess it'd be sort of a guard wall. I guess on the real ship this was probably very thick. Or maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, I think that the way to do this is there's a bit of a lip here, you might say. It doesn't come straight up. It comes up and then out. And I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe if I moved in a little closer you could. Yeah, I'll zoom in. Now if I can get the angle just right here, you'll be able to see the way the lip sort of goes over there. And my thinking on this is that if I have it so that the point of the nipper is down touching the edge, but in the back here where it's actually going to be up at the, well, I said that where it's touching the edge, I meant where it's touching the side, okay, but back here it will be, it'll leave a little bit proud of it's kind of hard to show you. Okay, so this is the idea. If I cut it like this, all right. Now down about a millimeter down, it's a little closer to the side here, whereas on the top here, there's more to file away. Now I don't know. Maybe this isn't going to work. I'm going to just sort of see if I can't file this off here. Maybe I'll put on my strong glasses and just zoom right in there. Well, I think that's probably about the best I can get it. But at least I don't have a little notch or a little V in the top there. I'll try and do the other two the same way. Now, when viewed from either straight down or from the inside, it's almost impossible to see where that was, and that's what I wanted. Well, I think the other two went just as well, if not even better. I'm happy. I mentioned to somebody in the comments that I'd try and remember to talk about the railings today. I know that, I can't remember, it must have been a month or two ago, I mentioned something to the effect of that the manual does not say anything about the railings, nowhere. But the kit did come with railings. There are 4 sheets, as you see here. They're all identical. You just have to make the best you can out of it. Yeah, I just thought just a quick update on that. There might have been a little bit of confusion. Someone might have thought there were no railings at all. Yes, it does have railings, but no instructions as to how or where to put them. You just got to figure it out for yourself. But I think I did mention something at that time that, wherever it looks like somebody might fall off the edge of the deck, well, that's where a railing would go, so it's, not rocket science to figure this out. Now, this episode, I'm afraid, is going to be a little bit disjointed, as often many of them are. And what I do is I generally video or talk about what I'm thinking about at the time. And at this time, I was thinking to myself, if I want to video something really small and show it to you, and if I'm using the macro lens, and if I'm holding it in my hands, it's very difficult to keep it in the field of view. Now, if it's something on say it's a piece that's already mounted on something heavy, like, I don't know if you can call this heavy, but I mean something large that's going to stay in one spot, like this entire unit, I can set it down. And if I wanted to show you that I wanted to paint the little piece that is coming out of the end of here, I'm just looking in the monitor right now, and it's up against my black shirt there, or dark blue shirt, so you can't really see it. Here's my bill from shopping yesterday. See if I can find a white spot. Okay, now on the end of this little thing right here, there is a little tiny piece of plastic, a little protrusion that's come out. It's kind of bent. And if I wanted to show you how I was going to straighten that, well, it's it's okay. It's easy to do it if it's mounted on here, but let's say it wasn't. Now, all right, this is going somewhere. If I was to put it in this thing right here, this is so heavy duty. It works great on anything metal, but on plastic, it will mark the plastic, or if the piece is small enough, it could actually cut it in half. So I was trying to think to myself, how could I make up something like this, so that I can put something small in it. It's going to always hold it in the exact same place all the time, so I know that it's always in focus, always in the center of the field of view. And I'm thinking, maybe I could take clothespins. Once again, I know I'm just thinking out loud here. If I replace something like this with a clothespin, which wouldn't be the nice soft wood. Maybe I could make it out of balsa wood, which is nice and soft. Now here we have something that's got rubber. These are just ordinary tweezers, and I've mounted little pieces of rubber on them. I know that these will not damage this thing, no matter how hard I squeeze. Now I can break it off if I'm not careful. Anyway, yeah, like I say, it's a very disjointed episode. And I know sometimes, maybe I should talk about this right now. Every once in a while, I'll put up a video that has absolutely nothing to do with the series. Like the one I did about 4 or 5 videos ago, where this politician here in Winnipeg gave back the ER to the Concordia Hospital. I mean, his party did. But he made it look what we're giving you. But the bottom line was, we originally took it away and had to give it back. That's what that was all about. So I'll make a video on that. It won't make any sense to somebody down in maybe, say, Louisiana or Tennessee or Ireland or Tasmania or Australia or, someplace like that. It won't make any sense to you, but I'll put it up anyway. And it will make sense to a few local people here in Winnipeg. And I'll make more enemies. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just sort of wondering, 2 or 3 years ago I put up a rant like that, and I didn't click notify subscribers in the YouTube channel when I published it. And I was getting all kinds of comments to the effect of, how come we weren't notified? Or how come I didn't know about it? There must be something wrong with YouTube. Well, it was a case of I felt that why notify subscribers about something that's really not important to them. But, in the comments below, if you want to be notified about stuff, and if you don't like it, don't watch it, or just let me know. Do you want to be notified about my crazy rants when I do one? Because every once in a while, I'll make a video that has absolutely nothing to do with the series. And I only have the one channel, so it's not like I have a channel that is dedicated to my rants. I just have the one channel. Everything goes on it, as I've said before, the good and the bad and the ugly. Anyway, so yeah, like I say, this episode is going to be really disjointed. Let's see now if we can actually do something here productive. Now, I was just thinking, let's get back to the Bismarck. At least it doesn't have anything to do with religion or politics. And then I thought, my goodness, it certainly did have something to do with politics, didn't it? Anyway, you notice on the top of this little piece right here, C2, okay, it's got very similar, in fact almost identical parts as this one right here. And I'm just wondering if possibly we're going to be having more Photo-etch to apply on there. I haven't paged ahead yet to see, but I'll bet you anything we're going to be needing to put pieces of Photo-etch on these pieces right here. Now these pieces here, D26 and D27, they're not identical, but they are mirror image to each other. J21 and J21, of course, they're identical. Now, I think it would be possible to put these on the wrong way. However, if you notice the way they're made, they're kind of designed so that they would go like that. Because if you put them the other way, they wouldn't seem to. I don't think they would fit right. So I think I'm just going to glue them on. Yeah, get it turned over here. Pretty sure that's the way it would go. Let's see what would happen if I tried to put them on the other way. Oh yeah, you can see that because of this part right here, it wouldn't allow it to come up, and it would not mount properly on the deck. This little, looks like a little tongue here that has to go in a slot on the deck. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now these pieces, they have to be painted and mounted on one of those parts, one of those decks that we put on yesterday. Now what I have been doing all along is I've been painting small pieces like this, the darker gray, but I think in this case I'm going to paint them the lighter gray, the same as everything else. I mean, the same as all the larger pieces. And the reason being is they are going to be fitting on this piece right here, which is already a dark gray. So there will be a bit of a contrast there. Yeah. I'm going to explain what I'm going to do before I actually turn the fan on, because it's too hard to actually talk over top of that fan. It's so terrible noisy. Anyway, these two pieces here, they're going to be the dark gray. And I'm not sure if I'm going to actually have them rotating automatically or just turn it by hand. Anyway, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally paint them the light gray by mistake. Everything else I'm going to be painting the light gray. These ones here I probably will have the rotator automatically turning. Now if you will recall, the last time I did a piece like this, I said because it was so, and I used the word undulating, it didn't seem to want to paint very good. Now I think it probably would have, if the nozzle had been really wide and covered everything all at the same time. But it didn't. It just covers a little pinpoint area. And unless you, are lucky, you generally end up painting more on one spot than the other when it's rotating like this, because it's just a pinpoint area. So I'm just going to do this one you know, do a piece and then rotate it, do a part, rotate it. Anyway, you get the idea. Now this piece here, I'm going to hold it in my hand and do all around the inside of the railing there, or whatever that is, light gray. Then I'm going to take this piece here, which has a piece of double-sided tape. I'm going to stick it on here, turn the whole thing upside down, and I'll put it on the rotator so I can easily rotate it. Then I'll paint around the outside light gray and the bottom light gray. Anyway, that's the plan. Well, it seems that this rotator will work really well on something that's, you know, basically round. But something that has inside corners that you have to get at, it doesn't seem to want to, you know, it doesn't do too good there. You pretty well have to do it manually. Okay, now this piece is not going to be seen that much from the bottom, but it will be seen from the top, so I want to make sure I get down in those little vent holes. Okay, now we got to do a color change here. This will be the first time I've ever tried one of these. You're going to see it along with me for the first time. Now, I'm not really anticipating it coming out very gray because I did rinse this nozzle out pretty good by back flushing. That was one of Tony's recommendations, and I found it, boy, it really works good. And I used the back flushing when I did the color change too. Yeah, that's I should have thought of that way back when I first got this thing. Anyway, the inside of that nozzle is pretty good. I'm just going to blow it out now with compressed air, backwards first and then forwards, and then, it seems to work pretty good. Just have to be very careful you don't damage the delicate little tip here. Yeah. I was just looking at this tip now that I just used here, and it stands up a whole lot better than an ordinary cotton swab, or what I call Q-tips. So that means I can reuse this. That's neat. These things will last me the rest of my life at that rate. And we have come to the end of episode number 174. And remember, if you want me to notify you about all the videos I do, just in the comments below say yes, you want to be notified. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.